Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the best channel on the entire internet. So recently I asked myself if there was any show I was feeling nostalgic for and actively missing. And it wasn't the Tofus, but it was always on when there was nothing else on, when everything else was dog shit. So I guess it's still an okay show. Anyways, welcome. I remember turning Jetix on and seeing the Tofus. It ran from 2004 to 2005. It had an episode run of 52 segments in 26 episodes. Just pointing that out real quick. Thanks Google, you're my best and only friend. Pathetic. Okay, allow me to give a quick character introduction / rundown. So these are Chi-Chi and Lola, the son and the daughter of the Tofus. They kind of resent their parents sometimes because of their life choices. This is Mom. She looks like the mom from Zeke from Monster Allergy. She's very spiritual, even so naive. And she has a friend named April who sometimes pushes her into delusional beliefs. This is Pops. This is Baba, the grandma. This is Billy, Lola's love interest. This is Lily, Lola's best friend. This is Phil, Chi-Chi's best friend. And let's not forget about Titus or Titus, who is also the father of William, but also the neighbor of the Tofus and hates them with a passion.
Hello, I like money.
You got that? Okay, time to go down memory lane. Flashback. First of all, the rooster is so cute. I remember being bombarded with this show, and it was always reruns, I remember. Look at my token ginger boy over here. Don't you know that they're social outcasts? And that's probably why he's the only real friend of the vegans? That's a joke, by the way, guys. I am vegetarian. I have been since I was 14. And I'm sorry, guys. I just had to throw in a sneak peek at my homie who was also watching this video. And to that same homie, I have to say, I'm sorry, dude. The ginger doesn't get the Asian chick at the end. No! The world is ending! Please know it's a joke. Please know it's a joke. Please know it's a joke. So if there is one episode that stuck with me because they just kept on repeating it, and also because I love the satire so much, it was definitely season 1, episode 2, Hey, who turned out the lights? In this episode, Chi-Chi is being gaslit that if you don't play the newest game, that you're not so cool. So then some girl appears who doesn't know what the game is, and everyone laughs at her. So in this era, internet still wasn't as prominent, and I do still remember that when Nintendos were hip and there weren't many alternatives, you wouldn't be part of the clique if you didn't have one. Nowadays, if you put your phone away, you are the clique, and everyone else is in their phone. What the hell? The contest is being held on who first beats the game. They get merged from the game. Now Chi-Chi is gonna try to turn his lies into reality by borrowing a console from his friend. Because Chi-Chi's parents think that owning a console and playing with it sends negative energy into the universe. So Chi-Chi risks his health, like Christ did for humanity, trying to get his hands onto Phil's console. Unfortunately, none of that ever happened, and Chi-Chi had to buy his own console plus game, which he encounters while walking through the city. And then starts playing it, after making a whole setup of mirrors bouncing throughout the entire house to his room, so he can secretly play his video games, while bullshitting his parents that it's something about aura, and something about, I don't know, spiritual energy or something. Anyways, the parents buy it, easy. But unfortunately, because the Tofus, their house, is entirely powered by one little windmill, which stands on the roof of the house, every single time the wind stops, the television and the console shut down. Chi-Chi only reaches level 2, and all night long, he gets trolled by the wind. Looking back, this was hilarious, but back then I had nightmares about it. The next morning, Chi-Chi didn't close a single eye all night long, but neither did any one of his classmates, so that's okay, I guess. One failure is a tragedy. A whole bunch of failures is just a statistic. So the next night, Chi-Chi is back at it again, grinding, finally reaching level 6, but unfortunately the wind now goes too fast and makes his console get short-circuited and his console dies. Then Chi-Chi sneaks out of the house while asking his sister to cover for him, just to visit Phil and ask him if they can play with his console. And as it turns out, if you don't sleep enough during class, You actually start to hallucinate if you game all night long. That's something that Chi-Chi starts to find out the next morning. Either that, or he has a secret ability to see aliens like in They Live. So then Chi-Chi goes to Phil, and they finish the game. But as they call Joy Station to give the winning code, Mr. Tofu hits an electric wire, making the power go off in the entire city block. And just as the competitive inventors who invented the telephone, Lily, Lola's best friend, got in first and won the gear. Then Chi-Chi gets the chicken pox. I don't want to be a conspiratorial individual, guys, but I think I might know why it didn't get more than 2 seasons. But I'm not gonna make that joke, it's too much of a low blow. What? I just can't live without gaming. Okay, where are we at? 5 minutes 48. Okay, nice. I can hammer in a few more stories about Tofus and exactly why it's so timeless. For example, the episode Extreme Biobabble has this fake guru slash cult leader almost, who suddenly out of nowhere lives at the Tofu's place and takes Chi-Chi's room, also ruining his plans of Phil sleeping over, as he is being forced to sleep in the same room as his sister, whose plans also get soiled. I think this is a very timeless episode, nowadays even more prominent with the internet, where these fake guru types are popping like shrooms. And I also think it's very interesting that how this fake guru type plays into the will of the mom of the family. Since it's service level, she never asked any deeper questions. The guru even has this potion he puts onto food, making it change color. But it's never specified what's in there, it's just blind fate. The fake guru articulates himself with a bit more difficult words, making him look like an actual professional, probably because the wavelength of the average normie is just really low. And he's like, yes, these plants were raised in bacteria. No shit. So then gullible Mother Tofu checks all the food in her fridge, and for some reason, it's all bad. The fake guru manages to convince her that taste is the enemy, and also shows a book full of his own foods, which he sells, which A, don't taste like anything at all, and B, are really expensive. Gee, it almost sounds like some kind of scam. So after a few incidents, both the grandma and the father start doubting the legitimacy of this master slash guru, talking about the cock block. Lola, Chi-Chi and their friends had the brilliant idea to stalk the man and find out he's a scam, someone who don't practice what he preaches. Basically just like this file who goes around on an airplane or ship to the rest of the world, lecturing everyone about how climate change affects us. But this video isn't about puppets, or how naive people are towards those put on a pedestal by the establishment. This was about a fake guru trying to sell all sorts of things to the Tofus, while getting into the most luxurious cars in his free time, while ordering fast food. And instead of this being a gotcha moment, Chi-Chi's mother decides not to believe him, while his dad is fully on his side. Just like grandma, creating a divide in the family. Just proving that it's really difficult to convince people sometimes that they've been lied to. So the father and the children conspire together, because they have an idea to get rid of Master Biozen, which is actually his name. I haven't referred to him like that, but all it took was some acting from the kids, who pretended to lace a pie with chili and other ingredients, as well as to exchange the artificial coloring from Master Biozen with normal water. That was enough already to shatter his mask. Thank goodness he wasn't an online guru, or he would have ruined his life completely and would have been forced to sleep under a bridge for the rest of his life. Just kidding, he'd probably also do a crypto rug pull. Then again, he seems kinda more like the type that hangs upside down in the tree to me. But hey, who am I to judge? Another episode I really like is called Kidnapping. In this episode, the Tofus, together with some family friend, while Titus Balov is placing gnomes in his yard. Talking about yards, these gnomes have poison, which can kill insects 10 yards away. Of course, this is highly offensive towards Mother Tofu. There is also this girl, April, who looks like Wednesday, and personally I can make the connection. I mean, I always wanted a kid, I wanted to name him 2000, and I always wanted to give him that exact haircut. If you have this haircut right here, guys, then you're either named after a day, a month, or a year. That's a joke. Tofus' wife is super obsessed with the gnomes that he gave to her. Unfortunately, throughout the night, one of the gnomes has gone missing. Titus immediately blames the Tofus because he's secretly grudgeful. I love the transitions, they're so emotionally artistic. They play the recording cassette, and as it turns out, the burglar was wearing a mask and a costume with a symbol which looks a lot like Captain Adams? But Titus doesn't care. He's the alpha rooster in the hen house. He steals the rooster and holds it hostage, being 100% convinced one of the Tofus stole the gnome. And I guess that according to the law, animals are property. So then in the next shot we see Chi-Chi tell April what happened. I swear I barely saw this girl. Then we see the rooster behind the glass, but Mother Tofu is like, oh poor little thing. And she's definitely right, because if that was my rooster, I would also be very vigilant of it. But thank goodness the rooster is causing more chaos than it's worth. Titus's ego truly is his worst enemy. Usually him holding onto his pride gives him the biggest L's in the show. So since he is the security expert, he installs security onto the gnomes, making them look like the burglar busters or the gnome busters. I don't know, I thought that was funny because of like a... Anyways, none of the hubbub works and another gnome is stolen. Chi-Chi and Lola see the thief and stop her in her tracks. It was April after all? Couldn't have seen that? Yeah, she has something against gnomes for some reason. I don't know, maybe trolled by Keemstar in some Halo Online? April gets a lecture from the Tofus. They know they're gonna be framed by their neighbor. Titus wakes up and is hysterical seeing that the second gnome is gone as well. Now he kidnaps the sheep of the family, who together with the rooster ravage his entire home. I love how Titus is secretly very defeated. Lola talks to William. She's asking if they're renovating, but William says the truth, that this is the fault of the animals his dad kidnapped. William is the chillest guy and hears Lola out. Loki hope they go together. So they make a plan and William is blamed for stealing the gnomes. He said he did it to test the security systems, which makes his dad super proud of him. Isn't that the most wholesome ending ever? I thought it was most beautiful. Anyways, those were some of my favorite episodes. Let me know what you think, if you still remember any of them, and what your favorite episodes used to be. And I know it's usually a hit or a miss, and not all episodes are perfect, but it's definitely worth rewatching, in my opinion. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please subscribe and goodbye.